Hey everybody, Sue's here from Revelation Quilts. Do you ever notice that sometimes the smallest, simplest blocks can make the biggest impact? Today we're going to make this block. It's so simple, but wait until you see all of the things you can do with it. Let's get started right now. All right, so for this quilt, I am going to be using three things. I'm going to use a black jelly roll, a white jelly roll, and then I'm going to be using this charm pack by Benartex. It's called Fossil Fern, and it is 100 pieces. It's one of my favorite charm packs that's out there, and every single piece is different, which I love. And so I'm going to be using this, but this would also be a great opportunity to use your scraps for this part. So let's get started. So first I'm going to be cutting my charm squares in quarters. So I'm going to be cutting them into 2.5 inch strips. I want to make sure with these pinked edges that they are 5 inches. So when I measure this, I notice that the 5-inch mark hits the top side of these pinked edges, not in the valleys, but in the peaks. And so I want to keep that in mind when I cut these into quarters. If you have a rotating cutting mat, that might be helpful for this process. I don't have one on my mat right now, but I can just do it this way, go this way, and then go this way. So I'll be cutting these into quarters like this. And then once I cut them, oh, that one didn't get cut. Let me recut that real quick. There we go. Wasn't pressing down hard enough. Now, when you cut these, I'm just going to put them randomly in this little baggie here, and then I can pick them out when I'm ready to sew. But for now, I'm just going to cut all of these. I can grab, a couple at a time and cut them into quarters like this. I'm going to do the whole charm pack into 2.5 inch squares. So once you cut them all, then you don't have to worry about cutting them again, which is nice. So I'm just going to, it shouldn't take long to get these all cut and thrown in my bag so I can pull them out randomly. So the first step is making our black and white half square triangles. So we are going to take one of each black jelly roll and one white jelly roll. We're going to lay them right sides together, line them up. Now my white jelly roll is much longer than my black jelly roll, but that's okay. We're just going to lay them right sides together like this, and I'm going to sew 1/4 inch down each side to make a tiny little tube, and then we are going to cut them to make our half square triangles. Now you should be able to get 24 half square triangles out of 2 strips put together like this, and there's 2 half square triangles like this per block, so you should get 12 blocks out of each pairing of a black and a white jelly roll. So let me sew these 2 together, and then I will show you how I cut them. All right, so as you can see, I have sewn 1/4 inch down each side, and full disclosure, I'm actually using a scant 1/4 inch for every seam on this quilt. And how I do that is I just, set my machine to 1/4 inch, and then I just notch my needle over to the right 1 click. And I know that every machine is different, but that's how I do it on my machine. A lot of times I find that working with smaller pieces like 2.5 inch squares, it's kind of nice to just notch that needle over 1 click, and my 1/4 inch becomes a scant 1/4 inch, and it's just a minuscule amount of a little bit more usable fabric. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my strip tube junior ruler. If you don't have one of these, I will show you how you can use a regular square ruler for this. But I'm just going to lay my 2.5 inch line on the sewn line on the seam line, and then I'm just going to give it a slice this way and another slice this way. This is just scrap. So I've got my first little half square triangle here like this, and I'm just going to go down and cut the whole row, and then I'm going to turn it upside down and line it up along the edge here, and then keeping my 2.5 inch line right on that seam line, and I'm going to cut the opposite way like so. I've got another one. Now my third cut, the edge is obviously not going to line up here because I would be missing something, so I'm just going to scooch it over like this and start a fresh cut going both ways. Cut this little extra off here, don't need that, and then I've got another one. So I'm just going to keep going until the whole thing is cut, and then I will press these. So let's get going on that. Now if you want to use a regular ruler, like a square ruler like this, to cut your half square triangles, it's quite easy. You are just going to lay this at a diagonal, and you're going to put your 2.5 inch line right along that seam line. So I've got 2.5 inches here, 2.5 inches here. Adjust it a little bit, there we go. And then I can just use my square ruler to cut that just like that, and it gives you the exact same effect. All right, I've got my cute little half square triangles here. I am just gonna cut off these dog ears. You can use a rotary cutter for this, but I find it's just as easy to just take a scissors and slice these off. Very simple and easy. So once you get all of those cut off, we're going to lay our block out. So what I like to do is I'm going to put the black edges of the half square triangle facing inward like that, and then I'm just going to take my squares from my charm pack and put them in the opposite corners like this. Now my charm square had pinked edges. I like to put the edges that I've cut, so the non-pinked edges, in the center. That way, when I sew the block together and I trim it, I'm most of the time trimming off these pinked edges because I just really don't like dealing with them. So we're just going to put this together now like a 4-patch. I'm going to turn this over and sew a 1/4 inch right down here, and then I'm going to chain piece it and do the same thing to this one. So a 1/4 inch right down here, and then once those are sewn together, then we'll take each individual side and sew them together this way all the way across, and we'll have a little 4-patch. I'm going to do that right now and show you what it looks like. So I've sewn a 1/4 inch down both sides of this. I still have them connected with a thread here. When I press this, I'm going to press it away from the half square triangle. So this one, I'm going to press to the right like this, and then the one on the bottom, I'm going to press towards the left like so. I'm just finger pressing it for now, just so you see. And then when I go to sew these together, I'm just going to flip one over top of the other one, and then these seams will nest perfectly. And I'm just going to sew a 1/4 inch seam right along here. And when I say a 1/4 inch during this whole video, I mean a scant 1/4 inch. However, if you choose to stick with a 1/4 inch, that will be just fine. Your blocks may end up a little smaller when you trim them. So let me sew these together, and then I'll show you the block, and then we'll trim it together. All right, there she is. It's adorable. It's really cute. As it's sitting right now, it measures, just shy of 4.5 inches square. So I've decided to trim mine to 4 1/4, and half of 4 1/4 is 2 1/8. So I'm going to take my 2 1/8 line on my ruler, and I'm going to line it up with this center seam here and here, like so. And on this ruler, it just so happens that these blue shaded areas, like here, that just happens to run along the edge of the blue shaded area. I didn't plan it that way. It's just the way it works. And I'm going to trim two sides of the block like this. And it's just a little sliver that trims off, but it does take care of those pinked edges, which is nice. And then I'm going to turn it over and do the same thing, but now I can use my 4 1/4 line here. Make sure I got the right orientation of my ruler here. I can use my 4 1/4 line along this side and the bottom, but I can still, make sure my 2 1/8 line is lined up along those center seams. And then I can trim these two sides like that. My ruler. There we go. And so there is my 4 1/4 inch block. So let's cut all these up on the design wall and see how it looks. Okay, so I've got 192 of these blocks up on my wall, all in the exact same position. So it looks like they're going up and down in a diagonal way. I love the way this looks, especially from far away. This is the first time I've kind of seen it on camera and how it looks from far away. To me, from far away, they almost look like circles instead of squares, but if I get closer, of course, I can see that they're squares. Now, I did have 8 blocks left over because I made 200 of them. So what I did is I took the blocks that had super light colors or super dark colors in the corners, and I kind of substituted them out in here for more colorful ones. So I do have 8 of these left over, and I'm thinking I can use, 2 for each corner when I'm putting my borders on. So that way I'm using up all 200 blocks. Now I also think this would be really cute to use your scraps with this. So if you have leftover 2.5 inch strips, you can cut those into 2.5 inch squares, or if you have leftover 2.5 inch squares, you can plug those in. And I did make a block that is scrappy. So look how cute that is. So you could definitely do this with scrappy as well. So I'm going to rearrange these blocks and show you some of the possibilities that you can do with these. So bear with me. I'm going to switch some things around and then I'll come right back. Here is the next idea, which I think looks pretty awesome. So what I did basically is I've got 16 rows across and 12 rows down, and it's just oriented this way so I can put the whole thing on my screen. So I divided it into 4 quadrants, and I made each quadrant go a separate direction, and they all kind of come together in the middle. So I think this looks pretty awesome. I love this one. I think it looks very trippy. So that is one great idea on how you can arrange these. Let me get out of the way so you can see it. I really like that. It looks awesome. And of course, you could make them go opposite directions however you want, but I like the way they all converge on the middle one. Let me try something else and see how you like that. And I really would love it if you would leave a comment and tell me which layout you love the best. Okay, so here is the third layout. What I did is I just turned it so I had 4 colors together. To me, it looks a little more traditional, but I still really love it. It kind of gives like a lattice effect. In my opinion, I like it a lot. It's pretty nice. The colors all together just look so rich and beautiful. And the white diamonds end up sticking out. This is really nice too. I like this. Let me see if I can play around for a few more ideas, because this is kind of the most fun part for me, is all these layouts from one simple block Let me see what else I can come up with. All right, this is the last one I'm going to show you, although this is not the end of the possibilities that are, you know, the ways that you can lay this out. I like this because it's got the squiggly lines, and obviously this is the longer section, so I can see these lines cascading down my bed or whatever I choose to put this on. I like that aspect of it. This one, I'm really drawn to this one especially, but I've given you lots of options and lots of possibilities. So now for me, I think it's just a matter of deciding how I want to sew this up. I'm also thinking of the quilting possibilities of this and the way my long arm works. Obviously, I would be able to, you know, quilt along these squiggly lines in a way. I don't know. I'm kind of leaning towards either the first way, the original layout of them all going in the same direction, or these squiggly lines. So let's see what I finally decide. So this is the design that I decided to go with. Look at all of that movement, and it's actually kind of the opposite of the crisscross design that I had. Actually, that was my intention, was to sew that one up. But when I got the top half of the block sewn together and the bottom half of, the top half of the rows and the bottom half of the rows sewn together, I decided to switch them up. So if I were to take this bottom half and put it on the top, that would give me the crisscross design. But I actually really like this design better. I put a 5-inch border around the entire edge, so that gives me a total 55 by 70, and I just put it on my design wall sideways so that you could see the whole quilt in the picture. But I really like this. I'm super in love with it. Yeah, this is so cool. And it might make some people dizzy, but I like quilts that make me dizzy because, you know, they're just extra trippy and extra special. Thank you so much. If you are a member, I want to give you an extra special thanks. If you'd like to become a member, just hit the join button down below and you will see how to do that. And shout out and thank you also to all of my guild members in my Revelation Quilts Guild on Facebook, which is free to join, by the way. They helped me choose layouts for this, and they overwhelmingly chose ones that I wouldn't have chose. So I kind of went with their choices, plus found another one of my own. So thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy this. The pattern for this is available if you'd like. It's in the description, so you can check that out. So I would love to know which design you liked the best. And I would love to see pictures of it when you make this, whether it's scrappy or whether it's using that fossil fern charm pack that I have used. And I would love to see what you do with this. So that's about all I have, but happy sewing, everybody. And spring is here. This is Suze from Revelation Quilts signing off.